National Cybersecurity.
Well, if you think about social media and what it can do today versus the past, in the past, companies had control of their brand. They would use traditional forms of advertising, marketing. They'd be creating their own messages. They'd be creating brochures, they'd have their own websites, they would be doing interviews with the press, with all different kinds of channels. The consumer would be able to have a look at that information, but they weren't really able to interact with it or leave their mark on things. If you also look at it in terms of how things are different, companies in the past have had R&D teams that have been building new products and ideas, and it's been to some extent done in a vacuum, in as much as they've had some smart people in their company who know a lot about that particular area, and they would do focus groups and they would listen to a few customers to be able to gather input on what they were doing. But they didn't have the reach that we have today, now that there is this internet, this web of people that are connected everywhere, and where everybody wants to share their opinions and their ideas. Right. So in the past, it was all about control of the company's brand, and they had pretty much rock solid control on that, and things were done in kind of a vacuum. It wasn't really reflecting always, not every single time, but it wasn't really reflecting what the people wanted out there. Post social networking, people do have a voice. Companies are still using the traditional methods because they're tried, true, and tested. But now everybody can have that voice, and any company can have a voice as well. So whether you're a billion-dollar company or whether you're a complete startup, you still have access to the same people across the entire globe, and you can do it 24/7 at very low cost. We're doing a Skype interview today, and you don't have to pay for that. PC to PC communication with video. The tools that are available for organizations today, where you can interact with people wherever they are on the globe, are just so much different in this new era. And so now companies are starting to experiment with those channels, and they're looking at it, and if you think about a headline, they're looking at it in terms of how can I listen, how can I engage, and how can I leverage that information to A, improve my customer's experience, but secondly, improve my bottom line profit within my organization. Because at the end of the day, if we don't have customers and profit coming in, we don't really have a business, we've just got a hobby.
Right.
So they're experimenting, and they're using social now for marketing campaigns to be able to spread the message out to different groups, no matter where they are within the globe. They're also using it for risk mitigation. So if sentiment starts to boil up about something that was a disaster, think of the BP oil spill or something else that has happened where people start saying bad things, organizations want to be able to track that, understand what's being said, and then come back with a response to be able to mitigate that issue.
Right.
They're also using social media for PR purposes to be able to highlight great things that are happening with their product, with their company, and increasingly with their customers, highlighting what their customers are doing to humanize what their company does. They're also using it for a lot more open source R&D. So they're looking to customers as collaborators who can help them refine and build new products to improve the experience for all of their customers. They're doing all of this through multiple different social media channels, so blogs are the kind of the standard thing which everybody started with to sort of kind of humanize the executives within an organization, and then increasingly all of the staff, to have a voice so that people get to understand the people in the company. And you've got Facebook pages which are starting to pop up, which is kind of a continuation of the blogs, but it's now more thinking in terms of how can I create a following, how can I create a channel that I can leverage for marketing, both for pushing out content, but also listening to what the customers are saying so that they can refine and improve their products and offers.